Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 Today.
Good morning, happy Monday. Welcome to NBC 16 Today. Lily, the weekend disappeared. Did you have a good weekend? Mine just felt like a boom, I'm back here.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes, but it was a good weekend nonetheless.
And the weather was fantastic.
I think that was the highlight.
I was obsessed with what was going on yesterday.
Yes.
Walking the dog, not needing to feel like I need to be just absolutely peeling off my coat and t-shirt, all this, just like absolutely gorgeous weather. Like you said yesterday or earlier today, windows open 24 hours.
Yes, that's my favorite kind of day.
What a
and
nice
you said
change.
Mackenzie likes windows and blinds open all the time,
Yes,
so she
does.
was happy yesterday.
Even when it's 100 degrees outside,
Yeah.
much to the chagrin of this guy right here. But we will luckily have another day where those windows can remain open here across the region. It's going to be a pretty nice day out here across Western Oregon. Let's take a peek at what exactly we're expecting. First of all, temperatures this morning, you see some changes in certain spots, but on average, what you're going to see is very similar to what we've been seeing across the region. Mid to upper 50s along the I-5 corridor, a touch cooler than that on the coast. Newport, though, really staying quite cool this morning into the mid-40s as we kick off our day. Roseburg's the hot spot. That's no surprise to anybody who's been watching this show for beyond a couple days, because every single day it feels that Roseburg is warmest out there as the morning temperatures get started. Now, satellite radar showing us finally some activity that is starting to be more widespread. We saw this kind of activity into central and eastern Oregon over the week last week, but now we're starting to see some on the coast and rolling through the I-5 corridor as well. Not leaving a ton behind until later in the week, but still something of note. It's going to help to keep our temperatures cooled off as we move through the beginning part of the week. It's not until the back half that we start to see those summer-like temperatures return to the area. I'll let Brianna Chavez break that bad news a little bit later. For now, though, next 24 hours remaining into the upper 70s at the very warmest parts of your day. But let's head out to the roadways and check in with our live shot buddy. LSB's giving us our first look at traffic here at 6:02 this morning. We begin our traffic coverage on I-5 at the Wilkins Road overpass just north of Coburg, looking southbound along the interstate to what is a pretty decent traffic flow this morning. We'll call this medium to maybe even heavy traffic flow. I don't use that word very often during these traffic hits at just 6 o'clock in the morning, but there's a good amount of cars on the I-5 as we kick off our day today. Although nice road conditions out there as the roads remain dry and there are no vehicle accidents to report. We do have one potential delay, maybe just outside of our viewing area. That's 3 miles north of Albany. Reports of a fire near the roadway causing a light slowdown. Checking the traffic cam, not major slowdowns in that area at this point, nor major spread that we can tell of that fire, but we'll continue to keep tabs on that as we move through the morning to see if it becomes anything more serious than just a slight traffic delay at this point. Thanks, buddy. You stay safe out there.
In Portland, police are looking for whoever sprayed swastikas on the windows of the Oregon Jewish Museum and Holocaust Education Center. PPD's Major Crimes Unit is investigating the vandalism as a biased crime. The museum says they were able to remove the symbols themselves, and in a statement, the museum says they condemn anti-Semitism, hate symbols, and all acts of intimidation and bigotry. In 2024, anti-Jewish hate crimes accounted for nearly 70% of religious bias crimes reported to the Oregon DOJ.
Senate lawmakers Saturday left Capitol Hill for their month-long August recess. President Trump wanted senators to delay the break in order to quickly confirm his political nominees. However, talks on how to do so fell through between Republicans and Democrats. On social media, Trump accused Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of political extortion for blocking his nominees, further telling the Democrat to, quote, go to hell. Without a deal, Republicans are considering plans to change chamber rules when they return in order to speed up the confirmation process.
It is the start of a critical week in the nation's capital. President Trump's on-again, off-again tariff plan set to take effect beginning Thursday.
And with a baseline 10% tariff and for much of the world, and much higher rates for several countries like Canada, Switzerland, Japan, and Brazil, all of this on the heels of disappointing job numbers, including an uptick in unemployment.
Jay Gray is in D.C. with a closer look.
The tug of war over tariffs could reach a tipping point this week.
This is truly the dawn of the golden age of America.
President Trump's controversial strategy to reframe the U.S. and in turn global markets by imposing steep import taxes on dozens of international trading partners set to take effect Thursday.
The president will decide what the president decides, but the president likes those deals. For the deals that aren't ready yet, they're going to get the reciprocal rates soon, and then we would expect that there might continue to be negotiations with those countries.
Some economists warning the higher tariffs could hit consumers.
Prices are high, and they're going to continue to be high,
with the possibility of slowing the economy, leading to inflation and leaving American businesses to pay the tab.
Businesses are having to take a cut to their margins and eat some of this right now, simply because consumers are really just not standing for it.
Especially concerning on the heels of a weak jobs report. The president, without sharing any evidence or data, calling the report rigged and firing the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
We'll be announcing a new statistician sometime over the next 3-4 days. We had no confidence. I mean, the numbers were ridiculous, what she announced.
But the former BLS chair appointed by Mr. Trump during his first term says
the commissioner doesn't do anything to collect the numbers. By the time the commissioner sees the numbers, they're all prepared, they're locked in.
Calling the accusations groundless and the firing damaging. Now, the White House says even before the latest tariffs kick in, new import taxes have already raised billions of dollars. Democrats countering, claiming the tariffs will cost the average American family more than $2,000 a year. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
The time is now 6:07. Educators say Peely's Teacher Supply House in Albany is a rare but vital money-saving resource for teachers across Greater Albany Public Schools. Our Gold Meadows visited the supply house as volunteers prepare for an influx of donations.
Albany Public Schools Foundation opened Peely's Teacher Supply House last school year, but this month there's news of an expansion.
This is a place where teachers can order school supplies for free. A lot of people may not know that teachers spend, on average, $200 to $300 out of their own pockets every year to buy supplies for their classroom. Albany, like many cities, has a lot of families that struggle economically. When the kid comes to class, doesn't have a pencil, the teacher's going to give that kid a pencil. Where does that pencil come from? Well, the teacher bought it with their own money.
The foundation supports teachers with grants and gives scholarships to high school seniors, but Peely's is its newest project.
Beginning on August 25th, teachers can visit Peely's website, and this is where they'll be able to add items to their cart that will be delivered to their school within a week. Crayons, markers, paper, pencils, this is just scratching the surface on the types of supplies teachers can order once a semester.
Peely's kicked off serving only grades K through 2 after finally being able to find a space to store supplies, but an expansion is underway.
Because we thought, let's do a slow rollout, make sure we have our processes all in place, see kind of what the demand was. We opened to pre-K through 5th, then in second semester, and then this year will be open to all grades for Albany Public Schools.
Peely's serves 21 schools, including 460 teachers, along with school counselors, librarians, and classroom aides. The foundation says when it announced last summer it was opening Peely's, it received truckloads of community donations through supply drives, partnering with local businesses and through grant funds. Volunteers gathered Friday for an inventory count a day before the first of 3 Saturday supply drives happening in August.
I think every student is entitled to the right of a good education. These supplies are going to be given to the kids, and that puts them in a place of comfort, of being willing to pay attention to what's going on in the classroom and not worrying about where am I going to get a pencil or where I'm going to get paper or whatever it is. They've got it.
The foundation says it saved teachers a total of $15,000 in out-of-pocket expenses during its first year of being open. Reporting in Albany, I'm Gold Meadows.
Well, Lily, we're just under a month away, right? Actually, about exactly a month away from the start of the school year. So kids probably, I would hope, sleeping at this point if they're on summer break, but at home watching, They know that time is coming. They must be getting so close, excited, nervous, scared for summer to end.
I remember being the kid who was a little excited about, picking what folder and backpack or whatever. I'm sure my parents weren't very excited that I wanted a new backpack every year, but you know, it made going back to school little
Not a
better.
chance. I hated all of it. I never wanted to go back to school. Summer break, I was thriving during summer break, getting into all kind of mischief and trouble and getting hurt and all sorts of different stuff. Summer was my favorite, obviously. No school.
Yeah, I was already,
this,
you know, organizing my pencils.
Not a chance. I didn't even do that during the school year. I was the loose paper in the backpack kid. Oh, miss, here's my homework. It's right here. Got to flatten it back out. I did it. Promise.
You stressed your parents out, didn't you?
Big time.
Yeah.
That's why my dad has the same haircut as me nowadays. No chance for hair.